This year we have faced major challenges, from one of the longest running droughts in memory to bushfires and then the COVID-19 crisis. I'm proud of how we've responded to support our residents, our businesses and our creatives and community sectors over this period.
We began the year in the midst of a devastating summer of bushfires. Sydney New Year's Eve 2019 gave the City of Sydney, ABC News and the Red Cross the opportunity to raise $13.3 million for the Disaster Relief Fund to support the communities affected.
When the pandemic impacted on Sydney, we responded quickly. We closed our community facilities, we increased our cleansing and waste collections, and we designed a $72.5 million support package to help the city adapt to changes caused by COVID. And this support package will continue to grow as we support Sydney through the recovery.
We also donated $1 million to OzHarvest to meet the food security needs of the vulnerable communities and purchased 20,000 reusable masks to give to rough sleepers and people in public housing.
Council has now approved a community recovery plan to guide our economic and social recovery, including new grants and extending our popular outdoor dining program.
And our recovery will have sustainability at its core, given that taking action on climate change remains our top priority.
This year we've trialled new electric garbage trucks and expanded our food scraps collection trial to another 20,000 city residents.
In July, the city's operations became powered by 100% renewable electricity. We are purchasing power from a wind farm near Glen Innes, a solar farm in Wagga Wagga, and we're supporting the creation of a new community solar farm in the Shoalhaven. Our 10-year renewable energy contract is helping us reduce our emissions and at the same time saving ratepayers $500,000 a year, every year for 10 years.
Through COVID, we were reminded of just how important access to parks, playgrounds and open space is.
We opened a number of new playgrounds at Ross Street in Forest Lodge, Crete Park in Rosebery and the beautiful Shannon Reserve in Surrey Hills.
Work is steaming ahead at Drying Green in Green Square, which will be the biggest of more than 40 parks that we are delivering in the area.
To further deliver on the parkland needs of our growing community, we have proposed reconfiguring the 46-hectare Moore Park Golf Course to return a portion of the golf course to public parkland. This will give our growing community more space to step outside and de-stress, essential for physical and mental well-being for people living in high-rise apartments.
And Sydney Park has won the prestigious Jury Award in its category at the Archiser A+ Awards in New York. Confirmation that this is one of the world's best new parks.
More and more people took to cycling through COVID, while space on public transport was limited due to social distancing. We worked with the New South Wales Government, which was very pleasing, to introduce 6 pop-up cycleways to better connect our bike network and help people travel around our city safely.
We completed the Lawson Street Cycleway, a critical link that connects people coming from Newtown safely into the city.
Work has started on the Saunders and Miller Street connection in Pyrmont, the final piece of connected separated cycleway connecting the Pyrmont Bridge and the Anzac Bridge.
We've also announced plans for a new cycleway connection that runs up Oxford Street into Liverpool Street that will provide a safe and separated cycle link between the city and the east.
Plus, we're bringing back College Street.
We'll continue to work with the state government to get good outcomes for the community as Redfern Station is redeveloped, and we're continuing to advocate for a metro station and trackless trams to service our growing Green Square area.
The light rail in George Street is a fulfilment of our vision going back to 2004, and people have embraced it.
The Zelkovas are in bloom and beautiful seating has replaced the temporary concrete blocks.
But those blocks haven't gone far. We're using them on George Street South, where we're extending pedestrianisation all the way to Central Station.
The extended pedestrian boulevard will be a far more pleasant place to walk, shop and sit with a bite to eat or drink, all while physical distancing.
We're also planning for future public space with a new public plaza in Circular Quay due to be completed in 2022, and we look forward to working with the state to progress our vision for a new Central Square over the next decade.
The city centre isn't the only area getting new outdoor dining settings. Devonshire Street in Surrey Hills is also being pedestrianised between Chalmers Street and Elizabeth Street, and Macleay Street in Potts Point is also getting a welcome upgrade.
We've planted more than 800 trees in the last 12 months, adding much needed colour and beauty to our public spaces.
We all breathed a sigh of relief when the lockout laws were finally repealed at the end of November 2019. And while we haven't been able to enjoy the full extent of what our nighttime economy has to offer this year, there's been some great work done to ensure that when COVID goes, we can all go out there and enjoy Sydney after dark.
We put our open and creative reforms out for public exhibition. We expect these to be in place by early 2021 to help with the COVID recovery. These reforms will make it easier for businesses like shops to stay open until 10 p.m. without needing council approval. It also means that it will make it heaps easier for our creatives to be able to utilise warehouses and storefronts for cultural activities and gigs.
The state government released its first 24-hour economy strategy in September, and Parliament passed major amendments to the Liquor Act in November. The strategy and the Liquor Act reforms complement the work the City has done over many years and included many of our recommendations to the parliamentary inquiries into the music and arts economy and nighttime economy.
The strategy includes a commitment to late night public transport so that people can make it home safely at the end of a good night out.
We are continuing to respond to homelessness with an investment of $6.6 million on homelessness over 3 years.
We worked closely with the state government's Rough Sleeper COVID-19 task force, ensuring people got temporary accommodation as quickly as possible when the crisis began, with the aim of getting people into long-term stable housing.
The city is continuing its bid to invest in affordable housing throughout the city.
We poured the concrete on social and affordable housing at 11 Gibbon Street, Redfern. That means 160 new affordable housing developments right next to the station.
We also opened the doors to 2 wonderful affordable housing complexes, 99 units in Blackwater Bay and 75 units in Harold Park, the final development on the Harold Park site.
At the beginning of the year, I participated in the opening of the new Hammond Care facility in Darlinghurst. It is caring for older people, especially older homeless women who have high complex, high care needs. We provided $1.5 million in seed funding for this project, and so it's wonderful to see it open and caring for some of our city's most vulnerable people. In February, we will open the wonderful Garnyama Park Aquatic and Recreation Centre in Green Square.
And work is continuing at skate parks at Sydney Park and in Annandale.
We also have a number of wonderful projects that are just getting started, including the Collins and Turner designed indoor sports court in Alexandria and the former Haymarket Library, which will soon become the Museum of Chinese in Australia.
The construction industry has continued unabated during coronavirus, and this year I participated in a number of topping out ceremonies. Especially important is the Greenland development, which will house a 5-storey creative hub for dance, music and community groups in the heart of our city on Bathurst Street.
After 4 years of waiting, the city has been allowed to push forward with our Central Sydney planning strategy, which will allow for buildings to get taller in some parts of the city while protecting our parks and public spaces from being overshadowed.
We're also advocating on your behalf to ensure that the Pyrmont Place strategy and developments like the Sydney Fish Market and the Waterloo Housing Estate work in our community's best interests. This year, the city adopted a new Stretch Reconciliation Action Plan. The new plan has over 131 deliverables.
In March, I presided over my 300th citizenship ceremony. In my time as Lord Mayor, I have made over 25,000 people Australian citizens. Citizenship ceremonies were paused during COVID, but I'm looking forward to welcoming our newest Australians at the end of January.
We were lucky to start the year with a wonderful Lunar New Year and Mardi Gras celebration.
And look forward to seeing Sydney's full catalogue of cultural events return in 2021 as COVID restrictions ease. Despite and because of COVID, it's been a demanding year. But thank you for your continued support for our work at the City. I wish you all a wonderful summer break and a better, much better new year for us all.